Merry Christmas. As president of the Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club, I welcome you, all our members and guests, to our 2023 Christmas party. Doesn't seem possible, but we are about to complete our 31st year as a fun-filled and caring organization. It's so good to see many spouses and friends here this afternoon. And I say this every year, it's you, our guests, who make this party complete. This get-together would not be the same without you. Our Christmas party has become one of my favorite old-timer events. Each year I feel a beautiful warmth as we come together to celebrate the season and to share good fellowship and a special brand of Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club love. What a great turnout we have here this afternoon. We had 100 reservations. Thank you so much. It's fantastic. Thanks so much for your support. We appreciate the effort all of you have put forth to be here during the busy holiday season. You know, I've been to many functions such as this where someone sings a patriotic song, but no one does it better than our own Norm Sevitz. As he has done for us many years, Norm will now lead us in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Yes, sir. You know, he's getting better with age. Tremendous, Norm. Thank you. John Sapone and I were good friends growing up as teenagers some 70 years ago in the Woodlawn section of Schenectady. 70 years ago. That's scary to think about that. We eventually went our separate ways for years, but thankfully, like so many of us, we were reconnected through our membership in Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club. So I have asked John to give a dinner blessing.
Father, we praise you for your friendship and our family. Thank you for bringing us together today to share a meal. The people in our lives bring us such pleasure and joy, and we are grateful for the time spent together in friendship. Help us use this time today to become closer as a group and learn to care for one another more. Bless our meal today to honor you in all we do. Amen.
You know, the Max 410 Water's Edge has been great to us. They have always treated us like family. They provide this beautifully decorated room. They give us wonderful service and a delicious meal. We owe a big thank you to events manager Taylor Wetzke. Is she back there? No. Well, to events manager Taylor Wetzke and her staff. They have gone out of their way to make our Christmas celebration all the more special. Thanks to them. Where are our over-under predictors, Dave Manillo and John Mazzone? Raise your hand. Okay. Our over-under predictors. I want to tell you, you don't mess with these guys.
We were a little off today, Johnny. We only had 85.
But you don't mess with these guys. Word has it they are descendants of the Al Capone family. You understand?
Johnny, one question.
Yeah.
Does Norm want to sing the Japanese national?
Johnny Mazzone, yeah. We have fun with their forecasts at breakfast where they project what the over-under is. It's a gambling term. Dave and John, what's your over-under on how long you think it will take before I crumble emotionally. Well, it might be sooner than you think. I have so many people to introduce and thank. Please sit back and hopefully enjoy what I have to say. I would like to thank Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club for inviting my family to this afternoon's festivities. Here from North Carolina, our son David, his wife Tammy, their son, our grandson Aaron. Also in attendance here are our daughter Debbie Amico and Vinny, her husband, who live in Boston Spa, and of course, my wife Diane. Thank you. It means the world to me to have all the family here today to share in these festivities. We love you all. I would also like to introduce at this time someone who is very special to me, State Senator Jim Tedesco. Jim is surrounded today by his high school coaches. I had the pleasure of coaching Jim in basketball at Bishop Gibbons High School during his junior year, 1966-67 school year. Goes back a few years. Brand new member Larry Feldman, raise your hand, Larry, where are you? In the back there. Then Coach Jim during his senior year, after I had stepped down to pursue a career working at the New York State Teachers Retirement System. As a side note, Jim's junior year was a very special year for Bishop Gibbons basketball. The varsity team I coached had an 18-4 record. The JV team coached by Larry was a perfect 18-0. And the freshman squad was 16-1. 18-4, 18-0, and 16-1. And we played a top schedule back then against the best public schools in the Big Ten Conference, as well as the ultra-strong competition in the Diocesan League, and also some of the best teams in the state from downstate and Long Island contested in the New York State Catholic High School Tournament. Jim was amongst the top players ever to play in our area. I understand you will be hearing from him later, but I also wanted to say a few words about Jim. Jim, please stand.
I am standing.
All right. Incidentally, Larry and I also had the pleasure of coaching club member Tom Lass back then, another exceptional player who will go on to New Mexico State to play against one of the all-time greats, Lou Elsinder, now known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Where's Tom? In the back there. Come here. We had several of our club members step up to the plate this afternoon, continuing to demonstrate their kindness and generosity. We owe a big thank you to Paul Moore. Just raise your hand as I call you, okay? I'm going to be naming several people. Paul Moore for donating the Camille Beckman hand cream to each of our lovely ladies in attendance today. To Dawn Vavila for giving, she's going to give a Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club pin to each member. Dawn, you decide when you want to do that, okay? Just to the members. To Rick and Diana Crooks for providing the delicious Lindt chocolates you found next to your plate. To Mike, Nancy, and Matt Woods, who donated the votive candles. And to Dennis McKenna for providing some additional monetary support. Thank you to all. We also owe a big thank you to Paul McDonald, creator of the baseword ball puzzle, which is handed out at each breakfast. As a result of his imagination and creativity, Paul has raised in recent years more than $4,000 for our club. $1 at a time. $4,000 plus, $1 at a time. Some of this money is used to pay a portion of your meal when you attend a major event such as the Christmas party. As a result, each of you is paying $8 less for your meal this afternoon as a token of our appreciation for your support throughout the year. Even though Paul is not here this afternoon, let's give him a thank you he so richly deserves. And thanks to you, all of you, for your generosity to Toys for Tots. Look at that table. There's got to be, I'd say, a minimum of $1,000, maybe $1,500 in toys there. Thank you for your amazing generosity there, for your generosity to our winter coat drive and to our food drive. I believe by now you know how proud I am with our club's efforts to help the less fortunate in our community. I wish to take this opportunity to thank the members of our executive committee for their work and support throughout the year and throughout my tenure as president. I can't say enough about these people. It's been a team effort. They have all pitched in to help make your membership experience all the more enjoyable. Either please stand or raise your hand as I call your name. Vice President Norm Sevitz, Secretary Nancy Durback, Corresponding Secretary Bill Underhill, Assistant Secretary Mike Woods, Sergeant at Arms Chuck DeVoe, Treasurer Pete Griffin, Assistant Treasurer Fran Pugliese, and Member Advocate Paul McDonald. Thank you so much for your service. I am also very happy to introduce your new executive committee. Again, please either stand or raise your hand. Vice President Jerry Rosen, I don't think he's here now. I thought he was going to be stopping over sometime during the day. Is it 2:15 yet? Okay, so he said he might be here by 2:15. He had another commitment. Treasurer Fran Pugliese, Assistant Treasurer Pete Griffin, Corresponding Secretary Bill Underhill, Recording Secretary Dan Durback, Executive Assistant Larry Cubes, Sergeant at Arms Chuck DeVoe, Club Advocate Paul McDonald, past President Don Blaha, and your new president, Mike Woods. Mike has earned his new position with the outstanding work he has performed for our club. He has handled every assignment given him and has gone out of his way to volunteer to perform other old-timer tasks. We all know about his incredible interest in baseball. His knowledge of baseball history is off the charts. I know this, with you giving Mike and his executive committee the same support you have given me and my executive committee, Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club will continue to flourish. Our best wishes to all. Next is always my favorite introduction of the program. Three of our members in attendance this afternoon are age 90 or over. They are an inspiration to all of us old timers. We are very proud of them. First, we have the lovely Nancy Durback. Nancy, stand up or wave. We also have Roy Neville, a former minor league pitcher in the Brooklyn Dodger organization. Roy, where are you? In the back someplace? And this one snuck up on me. We have Warren Red Kilmer, also a former minor leaguer who played in the Milwaukee Braves organization and who is a SUNY Cortland Hall of Famer. Red Kilmer. And I might add, a major donor to our skills camp. So wonderful that the three of you were able to join us this afternoon. It's great to see you. The three of you will receive, what else? A scratch-off and a wish for good health and good fortune. One more time for Nancy, Roy, and Red. And guess what? Matt George. He will receive a scratch-off for being the first person to make his Christmas party reservation. Nice going, Matt. All right. He got his reservation there almost before I announced it, the party, so. By the way, those of you who are receiving scratch-offs, if any of you make a killing, just remember your president is your partner. And I will only be president for a few more weeks, so don't try to leave town, okay? Norm is handing out, raise your hand, the four scratch-off winners. Roy, Nancy, Red, and Matt. Got it? Okay. Again this year, we are going to recognize some of our members who are making a difference. This is very difficult inasmuch as so many members are making a difference. Some members make a difference via their in-club activities and contributions, while some make a difference through work they perform outside our club, which provides a significant contribution to our community. Vice President Norm Sevitz will assist. At the conclusion of our program, I ask that the Making a Difference recipients stick around a few minutes to have their picture taken. Our first honoree this afternoon is Dave Manillo Jr. It's over here someplace. Oh, out there. It's out there in the middle, Norm. Dave Manillo Jr. He's been a member of Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club for 6 years. He has been a regular attendee and has provided support at all old-timer functions, breakfasts, luncheons, picnics, and Christmas parties. Indeed, if you attend an old-timer function, there's a good chance you will bump into Dave and perhaps his wife Susan. And I think this is very important. He's often brought his children and grandchildren to our breakfast meetings, exposing them to what Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club is all about and ingraining in them a respect for their elders. He has provided significant input at our meetings. We are pleased to present a Making a Difference engraved personalized mini bat to Dave Manillo. No speeches from you today, Dave. He always wants to talk. John?
Is your a Derek Jeter signed bat?
Yeah. It's Jeter on one side, Manillo on the other side, yeah. What's that? We mentioned that earlier, yeah, but you're right. Our next recipients are Alex Juzinski and Jerry Rosen. Alex has served as camp director of our skills camp for the 4 years we have offered this free program, and Jerry has served as his able assistant. They have provided outstanding leadership in making the skills camp our signature event. They recruit experienced college, high school, and youth coaches to provide instruction at the camp, and they set up several teaching stations covering offensive and defensive baseball skills. Alex is doing a bang-up job in his new position as head baseball coach at Siena College, where he took over for another club member, the legendary Tony Rossi. Jerry, a national champion, still playing adult baseball, served as a teacher, baseball coach, and administrator at Schenectady High School, and will become our club's new vice president beginning January 1. Thank you, Alex and Jerry, for making a difference. Our next honoree is Gary Comley. Gary has been a member of Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club for 10 years. He too has been a regular attendee at most Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club functions and has provided volunteer and financial support to Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club programs. He has volunteered his services each year at our skills camp. Gary bleeds New York Yankee blue, and he has a vast collection of Yankee rings, jersey, and other Yankee memorabilia. He too served as a teacher, coach, and administrator in the Schenectady City School District, touching the lives of countless students. We are pleased to present Gary Comley with a Making a Difference mini bat. Our next honoree is Rennie LaRue. In recent years, Rennie has burst onto the sports scene in our area while establishing and serving as Executive Director of the New York State Baseball Hall of Fame, the Upstate New York Basketball Hall of Fame, and the New York State Hockey Hall of Fame. Indeed, he is a busy man. He's attracted many top sports personalities to the Hall of Fame dinners and induction ceremonies. Just take a look at the most recent Baseball Hall of Fame induction held in Troy, New York. In attendance, and speaking, were Mrs. Elston Howard, Mrs. Thurman Munson, the widow of Billy Martin, Jay Horwitz, Todd Zeal, Curtis Granderson, Chris Chambliss, and Darryl Strawberry. And Billy Crystal gave a personalized video presentation. Recently, Rennie opened the door to the New York State Baseball Hall of Fame facility in Gloversville. Also recently, he was awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Greater New York Sandlot Athletic Alliance. We are pleased to present Rennie LaRue with a Making a Difference bat. Our next recipient is Mount Pleasant High School Strong. Who are they? Well, at least it's Mount Pleasant and not Linton or not Terrace, you know. Who are they? They are the table of Mount Pleasant High School graduates who always sit at the same table at breakfast. They have been sitting together at that table for years. Please stand and raise your hand when I call your name. I think they might all be at the same table. Marty Manny, Dick Odorizzi, Chuck Caputo. See, they're still sitting together. I don't think these people are here today, but they're always at that table. Chuck Smith, Joe DiCarlo, Al Steele, Art DeSorbo, all members of the fantastic Mount Pleasant High School class of 1960, and the late Dick Serapilio, who sat at that table. Not a Mount Pleasant grad, but who served as a teacher and coach at Mount Pleasant, a class individual we lost much too early. This group has 64 years of combined membership where they have provided strong support and member participation. We have always been able to count on having a full table made up of this illustrious group. A mini bat engraved MPHS Strong can be rotated amongst the group or perhaps placed as a fixture at their breakfast table. Congratulations. And as a very serious side note about the mini bats, Joe Bubniak, uncle of Loretta Moore, who's sitting in the back, was so proud to receive his Making a Difference bat. It meant so much to him that he asked that he be buried with the bat, and upon his death, his wish was granted. Our next honoree is Russ Vendetti. Russ has been a member of Schenectady Old-Timers Baseball Club for a long time, 21 years. He was an outstanding pitcher at Knott Terrace High School, American International College, in the Schenectady Twilight League, and for the 1953 state champion Niskuna Post 1092 American Legion team. We are so happy Russ is back attending Schenectady Old-Timer Baseball Club events following a long absence due to illness. He's to be commended for his work that he performed this year to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the Post 1092 state championship. He gathered teammates together, arranged for publicity, and was present to accept a state proclamation on behalf of the team awarded by State Senator Jim Tedisco, which will be displayed at the New York State Baseball Hall of Fame in Gloversville. We are happy to present Russ Vendetti with a Making a Difference bat. Our next recipient is not here. I guess he had a surprise 80th birthday party that they couldn't tell him about it, so the recipient is Rich Erdos. We will present his Making a Difference bat at one of the next breakfasts, because he's always there. So congratulations to Rich. Dave and John, I think your over-under is about to come to an end. Let me just catch my breath. I'm not going to be able to get through this. This will be one of my last official acts. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. No. While serving. Thanks. Dan. Thank you so much. I know this is going to happen. That's why I brought them into it. This will be one of my last official acts while serving as president.
You're 3 minutes over. You're 7. You're over 7.
Our last honoree this afternoon had been married to your president for 60 years. Many of you know that her mother and my mother were roommates in the old Bellevue maternity 82 years ago, and I was born one day in front of her. She has given me unconditional support in everything I have done or attempted to do. She has been the best wife, mother, grandmother you could ever hope for. She has taken me on a life's journey filled with happiness and love. I am so thrilled to present this Making a Difference bat to my wife, Diane.
Because the first two things I want to say is, Don, even though you're behind me and it's hard to see you, congratulations and thank you so very much. You are the Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club. And as for giving a bat to those crazy Mount Pleasant people that I have to sit over there by, that was not called for. You know, just saying, I've never gotten a bat and you're giving them a bat? Oh my God. We'll have to rethink that. This marks the milestone for the club. And by the way, as I knew he would, when I went to the bathroom just so I wouldn't hear most of what he had to say, because I know I'm going to repeat a lot of it. And you know, we tried to sort of make sure we didn't step on each other's feet, but it's inevitable. So here we go. This does mark a milestone for the club this year. For the first time in 15 years, a new skipper and coaching staff will be guiding our fortunes. Our beloved president is turning over the leadership to a new team of officers. He's introduced them, you've met them. Only one or two can even recall when Don Blaha was not the president, Norm Sevitz was not the vice president, and other changes are happening as well. So at this important junction, it's both fitting that we mark the transition with some remembrances, a bit of humor, and of course, some scratch-offs. And by the way, Don, these are $5 scratch-offs.
Mine were too.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
We stepped it up.
All right, and like Don mentioned with the scratch-offs, I suggest that anyone lucky enough to win $100 or more, and I don't think that's ever happened with these, keep $75 and donate the remaining $25 to the club's Sunshine Fund. Just saying, it's up to you. Now at the get-go, two people deserve special mention, Norm Sevitz and Nancy Durbeck. We start with Norm. No second banana here. How many people can tell a story of meeting the legendary Dodger broadcaster Vin Scully in an elevator and make it sound newsworthy and important. Norm can, even after 60 retellings. It still gets a few chuckles amid an overwhelming chorus of groans. Speaking of groans, how many people can bring Elvis back to life? Even for just a few songs, Norm can. And groans aside, who is the president's most loyal and trusted confidant? Norm Sevens. That's who. Fittingly, who will lead us later in a closing of the program in singing White Christmas? I don't know if you knew that, but you will. Now, Norm, a couple of other things for you. And our Sergeant at Arms is going to bring them to you, so you don't have to get up. We have a personalized Old Timers baseball jersey for you. Fittingly, it's got the right colors.
Thank you.
Now you take it over to Norm.
I know.
Attaboy.
You gotta do this with some panache.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'm right here, by the way.
Also, Norm, and you have Paul McDonald to thank for this, we have a personalized word baseball for you. And I believe you're the solution. But how lucky are we? Because deceased members are also members of the club. And how lucky are we to have gotten Nancy Durback that way? Twice, in fact. Over the years, Nancy did a lot of the tedious and mundane tasks needed to keep the mechanics of the club humming, always with a smile and that special look. We tried to encapsulate all this in a base word puzzle, especially for you too, Nancy. And if he remembers what he's doing, our Sergeant at Arms will bring that over to you, along with a personalized shirt from the club. But in honoring Don, Norm, and Nancy, we're recognizing all the folks who got things started, and reminded of what the club has now evolved into. From a few old men wearing baseball uniforms and arguing about who was the best, to an active 150-member part of Schenectady's history, a permanent home for our memorabilia at the Schenectady County Historical Society. And when I asked Don about what he was most proud of in the club, without hesitation, he said the strong emphasis on building a sense of family. Think about it. Other than Norm and his incessant updates on the Dodgers, the majority of events held and topics of our conversations go well beyond balls and strikes. This Christmas party is a prime example of embracing a family orientation and giving back to the community, as is the picnic in the summer and the luncheons held during the course of the year, and our annual trip to the Joe to see the Valley Cats play. But under Don's leadership, other activities were also commenced within the architecture of a family orientation. He starts every meeting with an update on the health status of members or family members who are dealing with medical issues. He started something called Beautiful People, a program to allow members to get to know more about other members in their own words. And thanks to Bill Underhill, Get Well cards of sympathy are sent to the family to ease pain and suffering when they have a medical emergency or a loss of a loved one. And Bill does this at his own expense. Further, when a member or relative of a member passes, again because of Don's leadership, several of us are usually there to express condolences. And for many years now, club member Paul McDonald has spent a considerable amount of his time creating base word ball puzzles about players, events, and club members who have passed. These puzzles are enjoyed by so many. I can't do them, but Loretta's a whiz at it and she loves it. Paul, now you've already mentioned this, I think, but Paul's puzzles cost $1, half of which go to whoever does win, gets their name drawn out of a bag. Very often it's some character over in Connecticut, but I think we've banned him from now on from winning. Continuing on the theme of family and how Don has instilled that in the way we conduct the meeting of the Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club. We've welcomed dozens of guest speakers who have enlivened our breakfasts with wonderful stories and anecdotes. Even during the pandemic, Don was able to organize that and keep that activity going with Zoom meetings. Now, we all have our favorite speakers. Mine happened to be Major League pitcher Dave Palmer, the Gold family, all-stars all, Luke, Joe, and Anna. Anna, of course, is my favorite. Basketballers Joe Girard III from Glens Falls and the incomparable Barry Kramer. But Don's leadership has also emphasized being a positive force within the community. This time of year especially, the club collects toys for tots, a winter coat drive, a food drive, and makes cash donations to sports groups and local charitable groups. And true to our roots, we have sponsored and conducted several activities to promote youth baseball, most notably our highly successful baseball skills camp, which again Jerry and Alex are primarily responsible for, and to reinvigorate a sport that has such a rich history of accomplishment in Schenectady. All these efforts are directly funded by club members through a Sunshine Fund that we voluntarily contribute to and that Paul McDonald's base word ball puzzle also contributes to. Listen, we could all spend time, and we'd like to spend time, reflecting on Don and his accomplishments, and more importantly, Don as a person. But there are three and only three people who we're going to have say a few words about that. And then the Honorable Jim Tedesco, who I think is all of our senators, is going to also talk a little bit. And Jimmy, I hope it's not that same joke about the hair. You know, you got to do a new one. All right. So let's start with Mike Woods.
We did pass out the baseboard ball puzzles and the frames. I do have copies for the family, if you do want them.
A bit closer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do have copies of the baseboard ball puzzle for the families. So if you want them, I have them here. I'll give them to you later. I think everybody here, other than Aaron, is old enough to remember the Dean Martin roast. Well, I'm going to do a routine from that, and you guys are probably going to remember this. We have so many great people in our club. Why are we honoring this one man with a dinner? You know, there's so many ones we could do it for. Norm Sevitz, who once and only once went through an entire meeting without mentioning the word Dodgers. He never got a dinner. Dan Carubia, who once cut in front of the three wise men to see the baby Jesus, never got a dinner. Pete Griffin, who once said, "We're spending money on that," never got a dinner. Bill Underhill, who once, more than once, told a joke that made Don blush, never had a dinner. Paul McDonald never found a subject he couldn't make into a baseboard ball puzzle, never had a dinner. And by the way, we're going to be up to $4,500 by the end of this month. Rich Worcester, who once was on What's My Line, and he said, "I thought I was going to be on Hollywood Squares," because he wanted to meet his idol, Charlie Weaver. Never had a dinner. Dave Manillo, who once took every single butter pat that was at his table and set up a defense for Derek Jeter. Didn't have a dinner. And Dave, didn't your mother tell you not to play with your food? But you took it one step further. You played with everybody else's food, too. Chuck DeVoe, who once woke up in the middle of the night screaming, "Minions, minions, they're coming in the windows," never had a dinner. The guys from the Mount Pleasant table, who wanted to charge me $5 to sit with them when it found out I graduated from Linton, they upped it to $10. They never had a dinner. Larry Q, who once, along with myself, put on a sequin gown and sang "Stop in the Name of Love," never had a dinner. Yeah, the secret's out now, Larry. Where RuPaul got the idea. Tom Lass, who always makes a fashion statement every day. Just what that statement is, we'll never know. Everybody talks about him always wearing short pants every day, but they're not shorts. They're the same pair of pants he wore when he was 6 years old. He just outgrown them. Paul Moore, now that he's come up with the idea to sponsor a Christmas tree, and by the way, it is beautiful, at the Schenectady Historical Society. Wants to put our logo on the next mission to Mars. He never had a dinner. Just going to finish up now. Don is a member of several halls of fame. I propose we create a new one, the Don Blaha Hall of Fame. Membership of 1. Don, you are the best. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to follow you as the leader of this great club. I hope we will continue to grow and become a force in the community. Thank you for everything.
Good job, good job.
Next, Tommy. Tom Lass wanted to say something.
There they are. Can you hear me back there? All right, I'll talk less. Happy holidays, everyone. And Coach, where are you? Who's Coach? Oh, behind you. Diane and your family, welcome today. Happy holidays. I am humbled today to have been asked to say a few words about my coach, my mentor, and my friend. It's a privilege to be a part of this incredible organization for the past 14 years. Being a member of SOTBC has given not only myself, but all of us something much more valuable in life, such as timeless friendships with people who have become family. Today we celebrate and recognize someone exceptional who has made a valuable difference in Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club. As all of you know, Don is retiring at the end of this month and is moving on to a less stressful and more relaxing chapter of his life. Don has been president of our club for the past 15 years. It is 15, right? I wasn't sure. And he's been an integral part of its success. He has gone above and beyond with projects delivering results consistently and serving as a role model of passion and inspiration. Connecting with others in a relatable way is the way to build long-lasting relationships, as well as fostering positively, which Don is a master at both, among other things. As most of you know, Don was my basketball coach at Bishop Gibbons High School, and he was an essential reason why I was granted a basketball scholarship at New Mexico State University. Don was an accomplished athlete himself, receiving many awards, not only for basketball, but baseball, golf, and track. And more accolades are forthcoming today. He is also a natural at leadership, as we all know, and invaluable qualities led him to be elected as president of Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club. We are grateful to have such an enjoyable summer picnics and Christmas parties, as you can attest to today. Don, you have made a lasting impact on this organization, and we are grateful for all that you have given us. Most of all, we will miss Don's bright and cheerful demeanor and sense of humor, And he does have a great sense of humor, because every time I talk to him on the phone, he's always having me laugh about something. He's always fulfilling the spirits of everyone around him with a smile, a joke, and a kind word. Coach, thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you have done, not only for me, but for all of us. And so, to my mentor and dear friend, now that you leave behind a legacy of excellence, friendship, and inspiration, you will be missed, but your impact will live on. So please join me, everybody. Wishing Don the very best of everything. Coach, you will always have my loyalty and my love. We are blessed to have the privilege of knowing such an incredible person. Thank you.
Well done.
The last speaker before Senator Tedesco comes up is the non-second banana, Norm Sevens.
It's very hard to go last because everybody else said what I was going to say, so this probably will be 2 minutes. I just like to say a few things. One, Don and I go back probably longer than most of you. He is a true friend, no doubt about it. One of my best friends, and I love him dearly. I look at Don, first of all, I first met Don in the 7th grade at Central Park Junior High School, and he was in 9th grade. And I looked up to him and I thought, one day I'll be as tall as you are. It didn't happen. But nevertheless, we became friendly at NYU. And I enjoyed the stay at NYU, and Don and I got together on several occasions. And it was always a lot of fun being with him, and I enjoyed that period in my college life. I remember going to the Greasy Spoon. I remember, winning with Yankee Sis, which I told his family about recently. And I remember all of the friends that Don had and how they really looked up to him as a leader. And I thought about it further, and I wrote down several times, what can I say about Don that means the most? And I think the first thing I thought of is being a friend. The second thing was being a leader. And he is a true leader, and I think we've said everything that we could say about being a leader. And it all goes to Don. And that's why we've had that success over the last 15 years, because, I was his vice president, but one question that Paul did not ask, and that is, how many times did Don Blaha and Norm Sevitz get on the phone talking about the Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club? Notice I didn't say SOTBC, Rich. He's against us saying that, acronyms. But, how many times do you think it was, Don? How many times did you say? I probably call more than your family.
A couple of times a week.
And Don would always have these ideas, and he would discuss them with me, and I would say, that sounds good to me. And then he would say to me, thank you for your idea. He was always giving me and I was just saying, yeah, it's fine by me. But it really was. I'm very proud to have served Don and the club as a vice president. It went by too fast. I look at 15 years and I said, it only took me 14 years to get from kindergarten through 12th grade. Most people it took 13, but I took an extra year. But it really was an enjoyable 15 years, and I'm sure that we will continue with our discussions all of the time regarding that. But I wanted to also talk about Don. Is something else that I admired so much about him, and that is as a mentor. And Tom Lass spoke about it just a little while ago. And Tom Lass, it meant an awful lot to Tom Lass. Tom Lass still will never call him Don. It's always Coach. He always refers to him as Coach, because Don was like a father figure to Tom Lass. and so many others. He was, who were disciples. I mean, there's a number of people in this room. Who name those in the room? Lift your hand if you one time were coached by Don Blaha. I mean, there were several of them, and Bill Thwaites is another one, and obviously Senator Tedesco. When Don graduated at NYU, the first job that he had was at Bishop Gibbons High School. And it wasn't just as a teacher, he was the varsity coach. Imagine this, a 22-year-old coach, coaching 16 and 17-year-olds. What an effect that must have been, because it wasn't that far that he was the same age. And yet he was able to work with these young people. And the higher-ups at Bishop Gibbons knew that he was going to be able to do this. And that's some of the value that he gave. And I know that, in terms of Jim Tedesco, his junior and senior years at Bishop Gibbons, and I'm sure he's going to get into that a little bit, he was counseled by Don Blaha. Dick Grubar, who became a great basketball player at North Carolina, coached by Don Blaha. So, it's just, I think my 2 minutes is up. There's a lot I could say about him. But he is a true mentor, and I admire him for his leadership. I admire him for being my friend, obviously, and being a mentor meant an awful lot. So, Don, I know you and I'll still call you a couple times a week anyway, maybe 3 times a week, but it won't all be business. So, hey, I love you, man.
Thank you, Norman.
The Honorable James Tedesco, New York State Senator, probably for all of us. Great guy. Please, Jim, different joke.
They make these podiums for tall people. Well, first and foremost, let me thank you, Diane, for being willing to marry an older man and take care of him for so long. And let me thank and congratulate the Old Timers Baseball Club for what you do for our community, and all of you here to honor them, and by extension, honor their president for his leadership. We're honoring Don Blaha for more than just his leadership as the president of this club, but for his leadership in his life. With my job, you probably know, I get a lot of people, a lot of groups ask me to come and speak. And what I do is I speak very, very fast, because I go to one group, I speak, I leave, I go to another group, I speak, I leave. But I made sure on this day, I was going to speak a little bit slower, and I was going to stay here, and there would be nothing else on my calendar. And there is nothing else on my calendar today, but to be here with my coach, my friend, I believe, my mentor, as has been said, Coach Don Blaha. And the one thing I learned about being a good speaker and communicator is you have to be a better listener, actually, than a speaker, especially when you're a public servant. You can be a senator, you can be an assemblyman, you can be anything you want. If you're not listening to others, you really can't do your job or be with that team and be successful. And the irony is, when you ask people, what is your worst fear in life? Top 10 fears. You know what most people say? I have a fear of speaking in front of groups. Small groups, medium groups, large groups. Well, for those of us who are defined as politicians, our worst fear is not being asked to speak in front of large groups or small groups or medium groups. I thank you for the opportunity to speak and just talk a little bit about my friend Don Blaha. I learned to be a good communicator from my coach, but also from the job I had before I became a city councilman, assemblyman, or senator. And that job, I'd like to say, well, sometimes I say tongue-in-cheek, I had a real job before I became an elected official. And some of you in this room had that job. I was an educator. I was a teacher. Kind of wanted to follow the footsteps of my coaches, Larry Feldman, who I believe was a teacher in the way he coached us. Don Blaha was, I believe, a teacher and a coach, actually. I got my degree from the College of St. Rose. Many of you are teachers here. Bob Pisano was my co-captain with me when I was at Union. He went to St. Rose, he became a teacher. And in that job, we did IEPs, individual education plans, because we taught special education. Don Blaha does IEPs and has for every day of his life. His IEP, individual education plan, was to teach us how to live a good life and what it means to have integrity, honesty, a love of family, a love of friends, respect others. See that there's more important things than us individually, above and beyond ourselves. For the past many years, at Thanksgiving, which we just had take place, I like to get up in the morning and before I do anything, think about 10 things that I'm thankful for in my life. Every year, for year upon year, it gets to a point where I think in those 10 things are my family members, individuals that have a profound impact on my life, did that individual education plan, taught me what it was like to live a good and right life. And Coach Don Blaha is one of those 10 every year because he built a roadmap for people like myself and Mr. Lass over there and others and all of you in this room really. And he doesn't have to do it by words, maybe even not action, because collectively all you have to do is to watch this man lives his life and has lived his life. It's a roadmap for the way all of us should live our lives and respect each other, respect people. You know, if you look at government now, we really need that in people. Don Blaha should write a book, and everybody who runs for office in New York State. You know, to run for office in New York State, you have to be 21. You have to live in the state for 5 years. You can't have a felony on your record. Now that's a tough one for us lately. We're having a little problem with that one. But I think he should write a book, and we should all have to read that so we could work together and really represent the quality of what a good life is. So I thank you, Coach, and I thank you for that roadmap you've given me. I can tell you I haven't lived up to the level that you have, past, present, and I don't think I will in the future. And I had a great coach when I was a senior with Larry Feldman. I think he has some of the same qualities. I appreciate the leadership of you two guys. And as I remember, you actually lived together, both of you guys, at one time. We had families together. And I think it rubbed off on each other and it rubbed off on us. And I can't thank you enough. There's nothing, I think Lincoln said it at Gettysburg, you know, nothing I can do to commemorate you or to thank you or show appreciation that really reaches the level of what your life has meant. Just as we watch you and how you lived it, made a profound difference in my life. So if you would come up here just for a moment. One of the things I rejoice in having the opportunity to do is give special commemorations from the New York State Senate. And this is a proclamation which commemorates, it says, honoring Don Blaha as he retires as president of the Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club. But for me, honoring him tonight is about the lesson plan he gives us every single day in every part of his life and every year. Coach Blaha, we love you. Thank you. You're a big part of my life and everybody's life here. God bless you. Thank you. No haircut, Joe.
Okay, we're at the 8th poll. Just a couple more things. Of course, my sergeant at arms has deserted me, so I will be doing this sort of on my own. Don, we're at a point where we're going to give you a few gifts. That's the kind you like, you know? You like those gifts. All right. Yeah, we got you, your very own Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club jersey, right?
Mount Pleasant red.
Mount Pleasant red.
Okay.
There you go.
Beautiful.
We also have for you a treasured base word ball puzzle specifically for you from Paul McDonald.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome, Don. There's also a plaque that we got made. This is heavy. I haven't seen it, so I'll be reading it for the first time along with you. Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club.
That's beautiful.
In recognition and appreciation of Don Blaha, President, Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club 2009-2023. A dedicated and caring leader of the Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club. A tireless supporter of the club and its commitment to serving our community. Thank you for all the years of service in fostering the love of baseball. Don Blaha. Don says to me, thank you, and I said to him, I'm not done. Finally, and something I know that'll be near and dear to your heart, I have something for Diane. This is a gift certificate to your favorite restaurant, Canales, in the amount of $150.
Oh, my God.
We want to go with you when you go. Now, I turn it back over to Don, but before I do, Chuck, I told you you would want to take notes at some spot. Now's the spot. So before we turn this back over to the great Norm Sevitz to wrap things up and put us in a festive mood, for the final time, I get to say thank you to our guy, our leader, the person of the hour, the most revered, the most beloved, cherished, treasured, respected, admired, distinguished, honored, venerated, esteemed, and dare I say, worshiped and loved. The biggest face on the Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club, Mount Rushmore, Don Blaha.
All I can say is wow, geez. Incidentally, Brian Dorenzo here, Tony Dorenzo's son, is doing a video of this meeting, and we want to thank Brian for his services. Appreciate it very much, Brian. I want to thank Tom Lass and his committee for putting this together, with a special shout out to Paul Moore for his outstanding contribution. I told them that nothing need be done, but as you can see, they went all out. I can tell you, all your efforts are greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Special thanks to State Senator Jim Tedisco for joining us this afternoon to make his presentation. I would feel remiss if I didn't say a few words about Nancy Durback and Norm Sevitz. Both have served faithfully as one of our Old Timers officers for 15 years. The Durback family has earned all-star status. Nancy's husband, Bob, now deceased, was one of our original members in 1992 and served as an officer. Then Nancy followed as an officer, and now her son Dan, sitting next to her, will become an officer. Pretty special. Thank you, Nancy, so much for your long-time service. Norm has been my sidekick for 15 years, and he has served admirably. He calls us Batman and Robin. Just remember, I'm Batman, okay? He has filled in for me without missing a beat during my absences. He has been a major player at our Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club events with his singing and entertainment. He's been my go-to guy when I was in need of advice. And you know something, I don't think he ever misguided me. Thank you, Norm. You know, you are honoring me, but actually it's all of you, the members of Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club, who should be honored. You make our group stand out. You make Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club so very special. It has been a privilege for me to be able to serve as your president. You stand out not just because of your achievement in the athletic arena, but also because of your accomplishments in life. There are so many outstanding accomplishments, just to mention a few. How about Frank Doc Jones? He met Babe Ruth in person. He was at Lou Gehrig's luckiest man on the face of the earth speech in 1939. And he was in the stands to witness Don Larson's perfect game, World Series game in 1956. There can't be too many people on this planet who experienced all three. And how about Joe Ross, who was part of the D-Day invasion on the beaches of Normandy in 1944? How special is that? And I could go on and on for an hour or more. Through the years, I have seen members of our club draw closer together to the point where I think it's fair to say that we have a special brand of camaraderie amongst our membership. It's like we all have a bunch of big brothers and big sisters who have each other's back. To me, it is very special to feel a beautiful warmth in a room when we get together. A number of years ago, when John Hewen passed away, God rest his soul, Rich Worcester came up to me at John's wake. There were many old-timers there paying their last respects. Rich said, "Look at this." I said, "What?" Rich said, "Look at the number of old-timers here." He said, "I think it's great." It was from that point that I realized we were not only the Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club, but also the Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club family. Schenectady Old Timers Baseball family. And you know, as I step down from my president's position, that is what I'm most proud of, that we have become family. Thank you for giving me 15 unforgettable years. Okay, we just have a few things to end the program. I think my family's going to be okay, but as I mentioned, David and his family have to catch a plane, so if you see them getting up, they're not being rude. They have to go catch a plane back to North Carolina. But we have to lighten things up a little bit. Bill Underhill has entertained us with his joke telling at breakfast throughout the year. He has told us some good ones and also some real groaners. He told me he has one good one for you this afternoon. Bill?
Can you hear me in the back? Yeah. Okay, I got one, so I have to make it good. This is a Christmas story. "I want you to have this," said the husband to his wife, handing her a gold bracelet with an engraved medallion. "It belonged to my mother." "Oh, honey, thank you," she said, smiling and putting on the bracelet, admiring the engraved medallion. "It's a beautiful, beautiful gesture," she said. She moved her arm around, admiring it from various angles. Her smile turned into a frown, and then to a full-on glare. She rounded on her husband and yelled, "You bastard, it says do not resuscitate." I'm going to take one more. A girl of 7 walked into her mother's bedroom and asked her to tell her a bedtime story. The mother wasn't thrilled with the request. She says it's almost 2 in the morning. I know, Mommy, but I'd love to hear a story. The mother said, lie down in bed with me. We'll wait for your father to come back, and he'll tell us both one.
Thank you, Bill Underhill. Okay, we're going to close tonight's party now. We'd appreciate anyone who could help bring the toys out to the cars. Tom Lass will be dropping them off at the Toys for Tots drop-off, as he does every year. Thank you, Tom, for doing that. We're going to bring back Norm Sevitz to entertain us and to lead us in the singing of a few Christmas carols.
I just wanted to say happy holidays to our departing cabinet, I guess you can call that, with Don and Pete and Nancy and Norm. And I've been in the club for over 10 years now, and it's been a delight to be part of a wonderful group of people who have run this club in such a great fashion. And you have set us up for a very good future, and I appreciate that. And happy holidays. Thank you.
Don, this is Dan Caribbean. I want to say congratulations on a wonderful, wonderful experience of working for the Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club. What you have done for this organization and the people that surrounded the club has been remarkable. And don't forget, you were a teammate of a coach that was my mentor and coach in the South Queens Boys Club in the early 1960s, and you played ball at NYU with him, and he spoke so wonderful of you even then, and I remember that your name, Blaha, because we used to go, Blaha! But it's a wonderful experience that you've given to this club and the friendships that you made, and thank you for allowing me to join this. So congratulations on the wonderful, wonderful years with the Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club. We'll see you at the Valley Cats. Take it easy.
Really thrilled to be here this afternoon and to recognize the tremendous work done by Don Blaha, the Schenectady Old Timers Baseball Club. Don is, of course, an inductee into the New York State Baseball Hall of Fame. His trophies, his plaque are proudly displayed, and we're so happy for all the work Don has done over the years for this wonderful organization. Congratulations, Don. That good?
Good to go, you said?
Guys. Okay, how you doing? It's great to have this occasion for Christmas. And one of the things we're honoring Don is the outgoing president of the Old Timers Baseball Club. Now, I've been a member of the club for about 15 years, and since Don became the president of the club, our membership has increased 3 times. Thanks to all of Don's friends from sports and growing up.
A number of years ago now, I was asked to come and have breakfast with a bunch of baseball guys from Schenectady. One of the first persons I met was Don. And over the years, it's taken me all that time to learn all about Don and all that he is and all that he has been over the years. And a number of years now, he's meant a lot to me in terms of having a good time with a bunch of guys, and nobody more than Don. Don, I wish you all the best, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas, you and Diane.
Hi, Don. I knew who you were when I was in high school. You were a very good basketball coach at Bishop Gibbons. But since joining the Old Timers Baseball Club here a few years ago, I've got to know you better. I've seen your leadership skills. I've seen the way you deal with people, the heart you put into things. I'm very proud to call you friend now. And I look forward to many more years of doing this with you. So enjoy your party, enjoy your stepping down as president, and I look forward to seeing you at the breakfast. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
It's been a pleasure to sit at the Blaha table, and I want to wish David and Tammy and Aaron a safe trip home. Merry Christmas, and the same. It was lovely sitting with Debbie and Vinny. Hey, Vinny, I wish Mo was here right now. I could use Mo. They've drowned me out in a good way. And Don and Diane, this is for you. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Ready for Blue Christmas? I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue just thinking about you. Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree. Home be the same, dear, you're not here with me. And when those blue snowflakes start falling, that's when those blue memories start calling. You'll be doing all right with your Christmas of white, but I'll have a blue Christmas. That's Elvis really sounding more like United States year after year. Now, let's all sing together Don and Diane's favorite Christmas song, Silent Night, okay? I'll start it off, because I don't know the second, third verse. But I can do the first verse, and everybody join in. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Thank you, everybody.